Hello, my name is Jason Pollock and I am the owner and web developer with Envision Digital. In this video, I will be covering my top 4 Divi modules that you should use in your web project. I am using this with just the base Divi modules. You can get a bunch of different extensions that will give you a lot better modules, but the ones I selected are ones that I use in my everyday work, and I think that they have a lot of flexibility to them and allow you to create basically anything you want using just the base model of Divi. So let's get into this. At number 1, this module I use all the time, and that is the Divi Blurb module. This is a great module to use when listing services, or you can do quick selling points, maybe with some icon imagery there. So let me just take a minute or two and completely customize this, just so you can see what it looks like so quickly. So I'm just going to add a title here, testing service 1. Then you can put all of your content here, service information, all that useful stuff. And then you can go down to here and add an image, or if you want to use an icon, you can add an icon there too, which is very customizable as well. But in this case, we want to use an image. So you just go to your image library. All right, we have an image in there. You can see testing service 1, and we can put some links in there. We can make some changes to, we want it on the left, no, we want it on the top. You can add like a background if the image was a little bit smaller. You can change the width of it, placements, and then some border information, and then go into your title text. This is very similar to all of Divi, where you can put your global fonts in there, have your global colors here with whatever you want it. And let me show you a different way to customize this. And this is actually going to be a similar way to how I do the text module. So we'll discuss. So sometimes I like the text, and or the title, and I like the content, but I don't really like the image. So sometimes I'll delete the image. And what I'll do is I'll actually go and add a background image if I wanted to. And I'll just do an example here, add that same image. And now you can see it's kind of messy. So what do we want to do to make this look good? We're going to add some spacing on top and bottom. So let's do like just 10 pixels top and bottom, and 10 pixels left to right. I feel like that actually needs to be more like 20. There we go. And then let's go to our title text, and let's make that white. So our title goes there. Let's make it caps. Why not? Text. Let's do this light. And it's still hard to read, as you can see. So what are we going to do to fix that? We're going to go over and go to the back to the background, and we're going to add a background color. So we're going to add this as black. As you can see, nothing really changed, but I'm going to go and I'm going to do the blend, and I'm going to do it as an overlay. So now you can see it completely overlays the text. What we're going to do is turn down the opacity of this background. So now you can start to see the image in the back, but still have the information in front. So you can just see how versatile this module is, the Blurb module, just because you can use it like this, or if you wanted to have it how it's intended, you could also have it with the image on top like we discussed. So now that we've covered the blur module, and you can see an example here and here of how you would use it, let's go to the next module that you'll be using all the time, and that's a simple button module. You're going to want call to actions all across your website. You want people to click through your website, land on different pages, go to your contact page, and this is the very basic button that you have with Divi. But let's just customize it a little bit so you can see how versatile it is. So you add your button information, your link there, then you go to design. You can do a different alignment. So let's keep that just at centered for now. Why not? The text, do we want it darker? But like, let's actually go to button, because this is where you're going to want to use custom styles. And this is where everything in your button will change, and you'll want them to be similar across your website. So we can mess with the text size, and then we can mess with the text color. As you can see, it changes that background too. But let's actually make it a little bit more stylish. So for the background color of the button, I want it to be purple. And then for the text color, I want it to be white so we can see it. And then I'm not really a fan of border radiuses or borders with buttons. That's not typically my style unless the project is asking for it and it's a part of the brand. So you can see we have a little button here. It moves here. I don't want to show the icon. What I actually want to do is when it hovers, I want it to change a different color. So I'm going to go to this interaction, this hover, I believe that's what it's called, this hover button thing, and you can see you can toggle between desktop and hover. So let's go to hover, and you can see nothing changes just yet. I'm going to make this black. So now when it's just normal, it's purple, but when you hover it, it's black. So that just adds some unique ability to your website and indicates to users that they want to click. You can add your fonts in here and do a bunch of different shadows if you would like. But for right now, this is good, and you can see we could also do a gradient if we wanted to. So like actually, let's, instead of this, let's do a gradient with our two colors. So this is from one of my current clients' websites. You can see we have a gradient here. And then you can kind of mess with how you want that to look. For this case, I don't think this is the best look just because it doesn't really go with the brand at all currently, but you can see it's fully customizable. If you want to put a gradient on your button, in this case it doesn't look the best, but in some cases it does, you can do that with the basic Divi button module. Okay, onto module number 3. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is the blog module. I think this is super helpful for blogs and different type of custom posts you might have. So you can see we have some categories here, some posts, do some pages, projects. If you had events, you could do that as well. You can, what I really like about this is it's very customizable to whatever your business is. So if you host events, if you have a recipe section, if you are just doing a simple blog, you can customize the blog module to showcase those posts in a unique way. So you can take out the excerpts or use them. You can change that up how you want. Elements, I don't want to show the author, I don't want to show the date, I don't want to show the category. Yeah, that works for me. Show excerpt. So you can see, you can really change this around. Usually I just have it as like the title and the image, and if it's a blog, unless it requires some additional context, then I'll throw the excerpt in there, or maybe the date. But this is a super basic module that will help you showcase whatever you want to show on your website in a nice and organized way. On to our 4th and final module that I highly recommend, and if you don't use this, I am very curious to hear what you use, but this is the text module. You're going to be using this all the time for text on your website. So you can just simply edit the text here, add some links if you want to link the module, and then you can also do some customization with the text here. You can also add a headline in here. So if I wanted to do like headline, I can make that an H3 if I wanted to and customize it here. And this is very similar to the Blurb module we talked about earlier. If you want to customize this in unique ways This text module has so many functions that you'll be able to do that. If you want to add a border, if you want to add a box shadow, or if you want to do something similar like we did before with the Blurb module. So I can go to the background, add a background image here, add the image, boom, already looking kind of similar. We've been there before. Let's just skip this and do the black right away. Do the overlay. Now you can see it's blacked out. Turn down the opacity. Okay, it's starting to look how we want it. Heading text, I think we made that a heading 3, as I remember. Let's see, yep, that was it. Let's go to the text. You can make all the styles here, but we just want to make the text color light because it's on there. We go to spacing. Let's do 20 again on both sides, 20 again on both sides. And you can see we recreated that blur module using the text module. So in this case, maybe I would lean more towards using the text module if you're going to do something like this. But the blur module is also very unique, and like you could use so many different things about it, whether it has it like the standard format like this, or if you want to change that to an icon, and like I did before. So let's just go back and make this an icon to make it a little different. So I want to just throw something in there. So we can put the icon in there. Let's make that icon black. Let's actually put it to the left. So now you can see you have an icon point list, which differentiates why you'd want to use a blurb module versus a text module, since you can do similar things with them depending on how you use it. These are just the 4 basic modules that you should be using on your Divi website. There are a bunch of extensions with a lot better modules. However, when I started off, this is all I had was the basic Divi modules, and I was able to build over 50 websites using just the ground base of Divi. It's super helpful for beginners and user friendly, and you just need to find out how to navigate yourself within the builder. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. I'm always open to answering any questions and helping others who need it. Let me know what your favorite Divi module is if you have one. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.